Hello everybody, and welcome after yet another extensive break, back to Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age. How is everybody?
Pretty good.
There's a lot of shit that has happened in the break.
Yes, so first and foremost, the more astute amongst you may notice that we are sans one player. Yes, unfortunately, many can't make it to our sessions anymore, basically due to personal commitments. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to be with us for this session now to have his final session. So I've done some things to take care of Minnie's character whilst he is no longer with us, and I will basically be NPCing him for a little bit before this happens, so that's an explanation. If you're watching this, Minnie, hello.
We miss you.
Hello.
Hello.
What a terrible, send up.
And watch as a few weeks later we get wiped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Grim isn't there.
Yeah, in a
This is
situation
Yeah.
in which Grim would have survived on 1 HP.
Yeah. Which may well be this session, what? No, sorry.
What?
What?
Anyway,
Is this your failing
moving
character?
moving swiftly onwards to the next item, which is indirectly related. The more astute of you will notice that we are now technically in Season 4.
Oh!
So,
wait, what?
4th season, apparently.
yes, I've decided to increment the season counter, seeing as things are going to have to take a slightly different route than I had intended originally. So my factor point for Season 4 is no longer relevant. So we are now in Season 4, because I figured it's a big enough change for us to do a changeover of numbering, start back at the beginning.
We've been renewed for another season, guys. Isn't this
Oh
great?
my god, we did it. We
Because
fought
we've
the
been
critics.
popular enough.
Seasons. Popular
Yeah.
enough for another season.
Our ratings are up enough that we got the okay from the studio boss, and now here
Yeah.
we are in Season 4. That's
Lovely.
not
Can't
how this
believe.
works, but...
No, it's not. No.
I can't promise that there won't be a side episode on the beach with lots of hilarious pranks, but
Damn.
And fan service.
Season 4, yes, fan service episode, yeah. Season 4 is usually the season where a show goes downhill, so we'll see if that stays true for this. Now,
Just make sure you deny Luka's shit with the fan service, though. All the fan
Oh, yeah.
service, none of the shit.
Look, I've already...
yeah,
had that happen.
we'll reach an awkwardly unsatisfactory ending, and none of the ships will be canon.
Yeah.
So, literally,
Don't remind me!
so literally Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What? What?
Wow.
Sorry.
Anyway,
That's literally what happens in Season 4.
Yeah,
so.
anyway.
so before we get embroiled in what shows suck, let us do a recap of our own previous proceedings. So, who would like to give me a brief rundown of the story so far and what you did in your last session?
What, all
Story
the
so
story?
far.
God.
Well, we are, I guess, tracking. Or is our main goal killing the Wraith Shard, or just like ending
It's,
that guy's
the
plan?
main goal is getting rid of what's his dick.
What's his dick?
Neller Scissorin.
Ferrous dude.
right?
There we go.
No, not Ferrous
Yeah,
dude.
we can't get rid of Tharos.
We can't get.
I mean, we
rid
can
of an
try.
evil god.
Not yet.
We can try.
Try.
Would you like me to do I have here prepared an overview of what you've done so far.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes.
So, our party have travelled far from their homes through many challenges to the town of Rorksgate. Along their journey, they have discovered that the world as they know it is threatened by an evil thought vanquished over 700 years ago. Nella Sassoran, a death cult necromancer, slain at the hands of Lord Silverbrook's ancestor, has been released from his imprisonment at the hands of the Abyssals. For almost 500 years, he has lingered in the Shadowfell, gaining strength and plotting the downfall of House Silverbrook. His servants in the material plane have continued his work the work he began before his untimely death, using Wraithglass to corrupt life on the material plane and turn it to a more twisted end, serving the Lord of Madness, Tharizdun. And it is on this adventure that our companions find themselves.
Wow. Why didn't you just do that to begin with?
Yeah, why don't we open with that?
bubbling through an explanation.
Because we
Yeah,
need
so
it.
that
We need
Luka
it to
didn't just
flounder
go
first.
like, we want to kill Ferrous dude.
Like,
I mean,
from this
I'm
point
not saying that
forward, we
Arya
are gonna
doesn't
just...
want to kill Ferrous Dune, but
Look, we can try.
It's as much for your benefit of remembering as mine.
Yeah.
So, what happened last time?
No,
It's not that hard.
excuse me.
All I'm saying
My
is-
voice died. That's what happened. No, I got robbed in my sleep.
Start
Well,
at the
before I got robbed in
beginning.
my sleep.
We're gonna have to replay this episode in the future to just to prove how unprofessional we are.
Okay, look, so I stole a thing from Taylor's church, and then it got stolen back from us, and then we were just like, shit. And then we talked to some other guy called Veld, and we were just like, who could this have been? And he was just like, may have been Catron Voss. And we were just like, okay. And then he gave us like a Thieves Guild favor, and we went to a guy, and we were just like, here's this thing. And he was just like, cool, here's some information. And now we're just like, cool, we're gonna have to do an art heist.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not wrong. Yes,
In layman's terms, because we can't give you more precise details.
It's
yes,
been like a
4
month
weeks
and a
ago.
half.
yes. In your search for one piece of the Baton of Retribution, which is a legendary artifact of Tritherion, you stole the rod portion from the followers of Palor. You, excuse me. You believed yourselves to have escaped undetected. However, that proved to not be the case, as later on that evening you were visited by a thief in the night in the form of Catherine Voss, who is basically the redeemed pickpocket who works for the chaplain of the cathedral. Yes, and she left you a note warning you to not try and get your hands on it again, or she would basically turn you into the authorities. She did, however, leave you some clues suggesting that the item was being stored in somewhere with a little more up-to-date security, using which information you sought out Nordstrom Tubob Ratchet, a trader who you later found out had connections to the Underground Thieves Guild, thanks to a Thieves Guild favour that you were given by Velt. You managed to extract information and get your hands on some thieves' tools. And you were in the process of regrouping with your companions in the town square to have a discussion about the next steps that you would be taking. And it is there that we find ourselves now. So, to begin, the sun is still cresting over the rooftops of the nearby buildings. Vondal and Grim, having slept in late, have received a message from Kelariis telling them to meet them in the town centre to discuss an urgent matter. And Vondal and Grim, that is where you find yourselves now. You are approaching the city centre, where you notice a huddle of your other three companions.
So I guess when Vondal gets there, he's just gonna do the classic question. Right. So what's the importance of this then?
We don't have the rod anymore. It got stolen by some woman named Catherine Voss, we think.
We have reason to believe it's being held in the art gallery that was mentioned to us previously.
Art exhibition.
Exhibition. Well, it's an art gallery that's holding an exhibition.
It's not at a gallery. It's at somebody's house.
Oh. That's slightly lame. Okay.
And let me guess, you want to try and get it back,
Well, of course.
presumably through trying to steal it again.
Yep.
Vondal's just gonna very heavily sigh.
Oh,
If it makes you feel any better, it doesn't belong to them. So really, they've stolen it from, well, us.
Yeah.
Technically, though, we stole it first from their
I mean,
possession.
it's Tritherion's, and he specifically told Kelariis to go and find it, so...
And because you know the entire world knows that, and that's perfect. That makes it all perfectly acceptable. Still stealing, technically. Can we find some other solution? Because this clearly isn't going to work.
I mean, unless you have a way that we can just waltz in there and ask for it back.
Well, I think Catherine has got it wrong because she groups us in with Veld, so she probably thinks that we want the rod because we want to strengthen Tritherion's power, which, I mean, you know, I like Kelariis, but that's not really our goal. So, if maybe we do just need to talk to her. I don't like the way this has turned out either. I know that I was the one who stole the rod, but it doesn't feel right seeing this town, you know, go a little bit into panic because, you know, someone stole something from a church.
Throughout this entire conversation, Grim sort of stands there rubbing his brow and sort of looking a little bit tired. And basically, as you finish that sentence, he looks up and says, "I think we really need to start to ask ourselves whether this rod is worth all of the effort that we're going through, because we are putting ourselves at an awful lot of risk to get our hands on this."
Well, of course it's worth the effort.
I mean, Trithyrion is one of the gods who is on our side, so we do need that help.
And I can't just let it go. Let it go now that it's here and I know where it is.
The problem is attempting to claim it whilst our intentions may be as noble as they like. The ways we're going about trying to get it are more than questionable.
It also seems to me that every time we try and get our hands on this thing, we end up going in endless circles and expending time that we could be spending on, well, evidence that we know has more concrete use to us. Or more solid use to us.
You don't know what the rod can do.
No, exactly.
So
We
you
know
can't
that...
miss it. No, go on.
I was just wondering, we know that the sword was from Trithyrion, right? Like, in character?
Do we?
That's a good question.
Not necessarily. Kelariis knows. The rest of you don't.
Right. Okay, well, then I'll just stay quiet.
Grim has a point. Because if we do get all this together and it's not what we thought it was, we've just wasted a lot of time and effort.
And put ourselves at considerable risk.
And there is a lot of risk if this goes down south. It's not going to be like a simple solution. When things have gone down south in the past, we've not had, you know, the literal law against us.
I mean, do you think that's going to stop me from doing what I have been asked to do?
I
I'm
don't think I'm
sorry.
gonna stop her.
I'm sorry, and I don't necessarily go out seeking to break every single law I come across, but if it's to take back something that doesn't even belong to them to begin with, you know that won't stop me. And I can't ask you all to be dragged down with me, I know that. And I appreciate everything you've done so far, but if you're really worried about getting in trouble with the law, I won't make you do this as well. I understand. But that won't stop me.
The thing is, Kelariis, I've promised to help you. But the thing is, I feel like right now, the best way to help you is to discourage this particular line of action regarding this situation. Purely because you're definitely not going to be reclaiming any artifacts from behind bars. Which is the way I see this ending.
You don't know
Well,
what will
Yeah,
happen.
unfortunately, we don't have any other good ideas as to how to get it back, and clearly Kelariis is not going to stop, so I'm going to help her. So,
Thanks, Arya.
got you, bro. Can I give her a bro nod?
Grim sort of looks down at his feet for a few minutes before he sort of looks up and says, "If that's your decision, then I guess there's no talking you out of it. I'm gonna need some time to think about this."
I think as Grim's saying that, Vondal very much looks like he's having a bit of an argument with himself. And when Grim finishes, he's just gonna leave. I'm gonna head back to the tavern.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow him.
Well, this is awkward.
I am gonna give Arya a look that says, please don't follow us right now.
I'm just gonna nod, because I get it. Y'all need space. And also, we have our weird brain connection, so I really do get it.
Yeah.
Ooh, we still don't know what that is.
Ooh, we still don't know what it is, and Arya's still kind of freaked
Spooky.
out about it.
Spooky.
Grim stands there for a few moments, sort of like waiting to see if you guys leave, and then he just sort of goes, "I'm just gonna go." Just walks off in one direction and quickly changes his mind and goes the other way.
Okay.
Oh. Well,
This is quite a situation we have gotten ourselves into.
yeah, you could say that. Though, I do very much appreciate you standing with me on this. You didn't have to, but I do very much appreciate it.
Well, as you said, the rod was originally stolen from Tritherion before all of this nonsense happened, so it technically does belong to him. And I do think it would be good to have a pleased Tritherion on our side, as things have begun to pan out the way they have. So, not to mention, you have saved my life many times since we have been together, so I feel as though I owe you. God, general affection. What is this?
What is this feeling?
Get your bingo cards out, because do you say that in character?
Yeah. Oh no, not the last bit, but the rest of it, yeah.
Wow.
pretty sure we've ticked already ticked like 3 bingo stuff because we've had a
there's
promenade,
bingo
we've had
boxes.
chaotic versus lawful arguments.
Yeah.
It's filling up pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is a good episode of Fear Bingo, boys. You do realize now we have to put that in like the description or something.
Yeah.
So people know what we're on about.
Yeah.
We'll have to put it on
We'll
Instagram.
worry about that later.
Bingo.
Well, what do we do now?
Well, it might be good to go and take a look at where this thing is being held, just to get a feel of what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Can we get to that part of town like now?
Yeah, basically. It's like,
Okay.
it's sort of on the outskirts of town where it's sort of like a what you might call a suburban part of the town. So it would take you like maybe an hour to walk there. But you can definitely go there.
Well, we've got time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
it's
got
not
like
we're doing anything else.
yeah, you've got like 2/3 of a day.
Amazing. I'm sorry, wait, to clarify, because it's been a while, is this exhibition taking place today, or was it
Tomorrow.
like- It's tomorrow, okay.
So we
Gotcha.
got plenty of time.
Sweet.
Cool.
I say that.
As you guys set off, Vondal and V, you arrive.
I'm just not gonna say anything for now.
Okay.
Then in that case, Vondal is again not gonna say anything. Straight to the bar, and he's just gonna order a drink.
Okay.
I mean, as he comes back, I might try to.
How much do I need to do for a drink again?
That's a good question. I think we said, I think it was like 3 copper, wasn't it? Something like that.
2 or 3. Just did it 3.
So Vondal, you head to a table, sort of, you're about to sort of like change and go to another table where there isn't anybody, but sort of V is just sort of there looking at you, and you're just sort of like, well, I can't now go to a different table. So you sit down.
And he's just gonna continue his intense internal argument look as he slowly sips away.
Yeah. Vondal's brow furrows to the point where you can no longer see his eyes.
Wow.
His bushy eyebrows.
Jeez.
I should probably go to the chaplain, shouldn't I? Didn't want to say this in front of Arya, but I stole it, so.
What do you mean?
I broke the law, so, and it wasn't right, and I think the best way to get everyone out of this without utter disaster on this town or on us or both might just be for me to add myself in, I guess. I mean, if we talk to the chaplain, we might be able to convince him. And even if they do say, you know, that I should go to jail or something, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind, you know, paying for my crimes if it means that you guys could still defeat the Blight. You know.
Vondal's like gonna keep trying to say something, but he doesn't know what to say. And just looks even more intensely like he's arguing with himself, and possibly even just now, like, you know, when you sort of like tense your like really tense up, you like clench your fists because you're just like, geez, this is like it's kind of getting on his nerves that this is an argument he's having to have. But he keeps opening his mouth and he can't bring words out. He doesn't know what to say.
I mean, I didn't want to tell Kelariis or Arya because I feel like, I mean, you know how they would react.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think this might be the best way to go about it. And I'm gonna stand up.
Wait.
Okay.
I don't want to. I don't want to see you get in trouble. Because, yes, I will acknowledge that the actions we have taken have been wrong. But I do know that this is for a good reason. I do think the way to get through this now is through talking. I just wonder if we can just talk, get the rod, and leave with all of us.
Well, if we want to try and do that, we're gonna have to do it quickly because if we let it be until tomorrow evening, Kelariis and Arya will try to get it via different means, and we might find ourselves in more trouble than right now.
I feel like the chaplain isn't who we should be talking to.
Why not?
I think we should be talking to clearly our little friend who seems to have noticed us.
But
Because if we can talk to her...
Catherine is some sort of apprentice to him, so if we can convince him that we mean well...
But the fact that she hasn't, ratted us out leads me to believe that that's the thing, she probably knows where it is. If we can
even
explain
if she
our
knows where it
situation...
is, if we convince the chaplain, he can ask her, and I guess she kind of has to tell him. I think it's more efficient and more just right to go to the chaplain. And I do need to apologize to him.
It's okay. So I suppose then we have two options. We go to the chaplain, or we go straight to the source and just see if we can get the rod back from her and leave.
This is going to end so badly.
Yes, it is. It really
You're
is.
not here.
Yeah.
You hear a ghostly voice.
You hear a ghostly voice that sounds suspiciously like Arya.
I guess that Vondal is gonna just look V in the eye and just ask, "Are you sure you'd rather talk to the chaplain? Are you absolutely sure about this?"
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come with you.
And I'm gonna give him a hug.
Okay.
Oh,
I will return the hug.
Right. Well. As you stand up to leave, we will go back to Kelariis and Arya. So, it takes you maybe 45 minutes to walk out to this area of the suburbs out away from the city centre, where you find yourself basically at the very edges of the town. where the terrain sort of tends to spread out a little bit. And you very quickly are surrounded by well-manicured lawns, curated hedges, and some very sort of upmarket-looking manor houses. A lot smaller than you've seen sort of out in the country, sort of places like the mayor of Renshire owned one that was far larger, but these are all very well built and very clearly well maintained, and whoever lives in them quite clearly has a lot of money. And following the information you were given by Bob, you find basically the house that you're looking for, and it is indeed one of these manor houses. I can actually, if I very quickly move some tokens to another layer. Oh. If I drag you across, actually probably you're more like back here.
Teleportation.
You can see that, yeah, you are indeed outside a house. Actually, probably there's a dude standing outside.
Wait, all I can see is a black square of doom.
Oh.
Same.
I can see everything.
Well,
Interesting.
shit.
Damn dark vision.
Right?
Is it dark?
No, it shouldn't be dark.
Well, there must be a reason why me and,
Well-
and Jayla cannot see a thing.
Hang
The
on.
big black screen of doom.
Can you see now?
I can see Vondal V now.
Can Vondal and V see? That's the question.
I can't
Nope.
see shit.
Nope. Oh yeah, and I
It's
still
a
can't see
big
anything.
black rectangle.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Ah, I think I know what it is. Hang on. Can you
Uh-huh.
see? Well, actually, you two don't need to see. Can you see now, Kelariis?
Yes, I can
Okay,
see now.
that was why. Because your tokens didn't have sight for some reason because it had been reset.
Oh, well,
But Arya can because Lyra's for some reason had sight.
That's so weird.
Really
Yeah.
Oh well, wasn't
Just-
that from when she was stuck in the thing you gave? Wait,
Yes,
was there a-
possibly.
Yeah,
Oh, that might be it.
because you couldn't see where shit, and we were just like, we feel bad for Luka.
I was like, I just want to know what's going on.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically find yourselves outside a manor house.
Are those windows?
The
think so.
blue lines are windows. Yes.
Okay. Hmm. And we're just on like the main street road area.
There's a small path that sort of like is leading up to it, and you're sort of a couple of steps along that.
Ah, I see. Okay. Hmm.
And basically, all around this place is a very well kept lawn and flower beds and hedges.
Hmm. Well, Arya,
Yes.
you're a bit better at being sneaky. I don't suppose you not
Yeah.
necessarily want to go up there, but kind of see anything that could be of use to us later in the event that, you know.
Are these are side streets, like on either side, I guess?
You'd have to sort of walk through gardens to go around the house. But with the amount of sort of like hedges and trees there are, with your experience of moving through terrain as a ranger, you could probably sneak through it about as effectively as you could.
Okay.
You can't just stroll casually through there, but you could sneak. Potentially sort of draw where the path is for you. Path sort of wends its way, sort of like that. It's not quite as defined as that, as it's just a series of cobbles in the grass, but...
I like your pro art skills. Okay. Well, I mean, we see the outside here, so there's a guard. I assume this is a guard.
Yeah, he seems to sort of... Give me a perception check.
I don't have my character sheets up.
Wow, this'll only be for Arya, so... Yeah, he's basically dressed in, I believe it's chainmail armor, and holding a short-handled spear.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look like the City Watch. He looks like sort of private security.
Right. So it's like a guard they hired to...
Yeah, it's a mercenary guard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is there anything else interesting about this, like, front bit of the house, manor house?
Other than the quality of the gardening, no.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll turn to Kelariis and say...
Oh, the other thing is, the building seems to have 2 stories. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. I guess I'll turn to Kelariis and say, why don't we take a look around the side and see if there's anything of interest there?
Sure thing.
Okay. If you want to do that, give me some stealth checks as you go around.
Oh boy.
Here, let me cast the thing.
Okay, pass without trace.
And then you get a boost on your stealth.
Quick retcon opportunity. Are you wearing armor today? You did leave in a hurry.
Did leave in a hurry, so probably not.
Okay. So you'll not suffer disadvantage.
Great. My stealth is still pretty shit, but...
Well, you get an advantage from my spell.
No, you
so...
get plus 10. Don't get advantage.
10.
Well, yeah, it is an advantage. It's not
yes.
the advantage.
You get a bonus.
A bonus. More points. Anyway. So.
Wow. Okay.
Damn, you rolled better stuff than I did.
24 and 29.
The best stealth roll I will ever have.
33.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's way too much stealth. God.
Lyra just walks through the hedges rather than trying to hide.
Disappears completely.
It's gone.
Oof. Okay. I guess let's go to the left first.
Oop. Just follow you.
Yeah, I'm just kind of moseying along. Don't mind us, we're just climbing through your hedges.
You don't see the big dragonborn.
You don't see anything.
Hedges.
Well, you're walking cautiously through the gardens, making sure that nobody is looking at you, and you take a look at the windows of the houses and the windows on the side of the house, and basically from what you can tell, they've got like fairly thick sort of net curtain over them. So it would be difficult to see in or out without somebody sort of moving the curtains aside and looking. You catch maybe what you think is a glimpse of like maybe one figure moving around inside the room closest to you, but they're clearly sort of not bothered with the windows. They're moving around doing something inside.
Okay.
That's fair.
Is there anything else? Is there any windows that look like they'd be like especially easy to break into?
Not particularly. They're all sort of like the many panelled windows made of lots of little bits of glass. So you'd have to sort of like find an open window or do a great deal of sort of smashing your way in to get through.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep.
There
Just
aren't any
keep
sort of like back entrances that we've seen so far or anything.
No, none so far. Although you basically what you're walking down just one side of a wing of the house.
This place is freaking huge. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's quite a big house, but not big by the standards of some of the places that you've seen.
I've seen bigger.
That's what she said.
Yep, that is. Boop. This looks interesting. There's a change.
Hello.
Yes.
So it looks like there's a door.
Yes, as you come around the back of the building, there appears to be a back porch area with a door. And as far as you can tell, it's basically it's a small wooden door that doesn't seem to sort of be like heavily secured in any way. It's just sort of like it's somebody's back garden door.
Mm-hmm. Does it look like I could like force it open or like pick the lock or something?
It seems to just be a regular old door, so yeah, probably.
Okay.
Difficult to make a decisive decision without examining it closer, but from just a cursory evaluation, it just seems like a regular old door.
Well, can I make a closer evaluation?
You can. Give me another stealth.
Another stealth, okay. There we go, that's better.
Yeah,
That
with
may
your pass without trace, that's more than enough to succeed.
Me as well, or?
If you're getting closer, yes.
I think I will watch to make sure nobody else is kind of just showing up around the corners with my great perception.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
Rest of my lookout.
What do your
It's-
dragonborn I see?
It's kind of difficult to sort of because of the way the garden here is much closer. It's more difficult for you to see, and sort of like the windows either side of you are sort of obscured, and you can't sort of look up at them without sort of like poking your head up out of the position that you've chosen to take cover. But you don't think anybody is around.
Great.
Yeah, you take a closer look at this door. Give me an investigation check. It's basically the back door is secured by a fairly solid looking iron lock. But that's all that seems to be, well, between you and getting inside is just a heavy lock.
Okay. What about these windows? Are they like the same as the other windows, I guess?
Yeah, pretty much. The ones to your right are slightly they're less intricate. They're much they're larger panes of glass, but they're still not that large.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There also appears to be no curtains on the windows to your right.
Okay. Well, why don't we go around the other side and then we'll find somewhere not so suspicious to talk about this.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Kind of suspicious.
A little suspicious.
A little bit.
Cool, yeah, give me stealth checks as you move off.
Man, Lyra, jeez.
Yeah.
Blair's just... Where'd she go?
Ghost.
Yeah.
Visible.
Lyra moves through the garden like a dog in the garden.
Amazing. What a great comparison.
She moves through the garden like she owns it, and therefore nobody is suspicious that she is there.
You just gotta think in your mind. I belong.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Confidence is key.
What's that one post that's like, just hold your head up high and think murder and walk.
Oh
And
yeah.
That's how you
That's
do
such a
it.
good post.
As you move around the side, you notice again that the long set of windows on your left does again has no curtains. A brief glimpse through seems to reveal some sort of, maybe it's a kitchen. And then several more curtained windows on one side. Smaller this time. Perhaps maybe bedroom windows?
Okay. Well, nothing of interest here, really.
No, other than the one doorway.
Well, it's good to know that's there at least.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess let's just go back up and find somewhere away from here to talk about stuff.
This is like wall around the yard, I assume.
Yeah, it's not fantastically high. It's sort of like this is where this house's garden ends, sort of indicator, but it isn't. It's probably not more than chest high with a bit of hedge on top.
Okay, so it wouldn't be too hard to like.
It's probably not even
scale.
chest high for Kelariis.
So in an emergency, it's probably jumpable, is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
You're not going to need specialist equipment to scale it.
Sweet.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, let's skedaddle then. And regroup.
Cool.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Well, I'm going to move your tokens back here, and then we'll
Huh.
shuffle back. Cool. So, what do you talk about?
Well, it looks like our best bet for getting in would be forcing that door back there. What do you
Why don't we
think?
potentially try to... I mean, I know that, social gatherings are definitely our strong suit. Strong pencil. But we
Definitely.
could potentially try to get in as guests and have that door as an escape.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
But you're right, we could force our way through there as well. If we can't get in
Yeah.
otherwise.
Well, yeah,
worst
I
case
guess.
scenario, we could break a window, but I prefer not
That's
to
true.
do that.
Yeah, those windows look like they'd be a little bit harder to get into. Yeah. I don't know how we'd go about getting into the party.
That is a good question. We probably should have asked somebody that.
Yeah. I don't know who we would ask.
I mean, we could ask.
Just as a nugget of information, Nordstrom did mention that the art exhibition was basically open to anyone who was interested in viewing and sort of collecting art. You might have to ask, but it was sort of an open invitation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Well, that makes this easier.
You may not be able to just walk in, but it would be very easy to sort of try and talk your way in.
Okay. Well. I guess we'll do that then.
I think that sounds like our best option.
Yeah. Right. Like, we just talk our way in at the door? Is that what you're, like, alluding to? Or do we need to talk to somebody, like, else?
That's up to you to decide what you want to attempt.
I mean, we have the time. We could do it now.
Yeah. I just don't know who we would, like, talk to.
Yeah. You're not exactly the go-to people for upper-class contacts.
Yeah.
Well,
Funny if you had a well-respected member of the community with you.
Do we?
Not right now.
It's like, I don't feel like we do.
We have one in the party. Whether he is
He's currently busy.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't know if he'll help us, though, either.
yeah.
Like,
I was merely suggesting.
I don't think he would be the best person to be like, hey, Vondal, so I know you don't want to help us break into this thing, but can you help us break into this thing?
But here's the thing. At that point, we're not breaking in yet.
We're just going into an art exhibition. Yeah. Nothing shady about that. Anyway. If you finish your discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah, for now.
Okay. Do you begin to head back, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Do you need to do anything, Kelariis?
Oh, I need to look for. Well, it's a bit early at this point, but I need to look for glass blowing tools eventually. So first time in the day, I may as well do that.
Yeah, cool. How do you go about doing that? Do you just go like and ask people?
I have a vague memory, and I could be remembering this wrong, but I have a vague memory of there being mention of a store that might have something of those sorts of things. I don't remember. I didn't really know something very smart about this, but
Perhaps not glass blowing tools. There was a place that sold tools, but glass blowing tools are fairly specialist.
well, shit.
You can certainly go and ask around, though.
Yeah, sure.
Are you proficient in investigation?
No, I don't.
In that case,
No.
just give me a charisma check. And I will tell you what
Okay.
that means afterwards.
Okay, do you want me to roll it now? then?
Yeah, roll it now. As
Oh,
we...
for fuck's sake, Kelariis.
Good.
That charisma.
Gee.
change locations once again. Vondal and V. You arrive at the cathedral.
I like the background music.
What do you do?
I think he's starting to feel a bit nervous about this plan.
Why would you ever feel nervous about it? Ugh.
I hope you're not getting cold feet.
No.
Might want to pack some extra socks.
Oh my god.
V?
I don't wear
Socks?
socks.
Yeah, that's the
I know.
joke.
That's the joke. Is like you don't wear
Anyway.
Never mind.
socks.
Look, let's just go.
Okay. So, you make your way into the cathedral. Give me a perception check. Okay. As far as you can see, neither Chaplain Audrell nor Catherine are here. You do notice the guards who you met last time you were here, who stood in front of the vestry door, are there, accompanied by now 2 members of the City Watch as well. And there are some other clerics just sort of milling around and preparing the church.
We should ask someone.
Probably. Can I just ask one of the clerics if they know where the chaplain is?
Sure. Yeah, you grab one of the clerics who sort of shuffles past you and says, "Yeah, how can I help?"
Do you know where the chaplain is? We'd quite like to speak with him.
He sort of looks at you and says, "Which one? We've got 1 or 2."
Fee doesn't even know the name.
Chaplain
No.
Sunkeeper.
What does he look like?
You know he's Chaplain Sunkeeper, and he's the middle-aged looking guy with basically like short brown hair.
Okay, I guess I will. Oh, no, do I know? Or?
Yeah, you met him as well. Like,
Okay, in that case,
you
I'll
all
just
met him
say,
the first time you were here.
In that case, I'll just say Chaplain Sunkeeper.
The priest you grab sort of he looks at you and says, he's in a meeting with the mayor in the moment. I don't know when he'll be back. Can I take a message?
That's fine. We'll return later.
It sort of looks at you and says, are you sure? He's rather busy. It's usually best to sort of just leave a note or something.
It's a bit of a private matter.
He looks slightly bemused and says, right, okay, yeah, I guess it would be best to sort of get hold of him then. Sorry, I can't help.
It's no problems. We'll just come back later.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we do exactly that.
Yeah, okay. You depart outside. Acquire ends.
Very abruptly.
Yeah. And yeah.
So what time is it now, roughly?
Well, it didn't take you a huge amount of time to cover where it is, where you were, so it's probably only been like maybe 45, 50 minutes, so it's still like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Shall we wait back in the tavern then for a few hours? Try again. Not
But
for an hour
we
or so.
don't know when we'll be able to grab hold of him.
I'd imagine the meeting he's in won't take too long. It's certainly not going to take him all day.
But what if he's busy with something else by the time we get to him? I mean, the clerk just said he was a busy person, so I hope this doesn't take too long.
All we can do is our best. We'll try again in an hour or 2. It's unfortunately the best we can hope for.
Yeah, you go back to the tavern to spend some time. As for the others, maybe 15-20 minutes or so later, you arrive back in the center of town. And yeah, Kelariis, you said about asking people sort of where you can go to get glass blowing tools or get glass blowing done, and they're sort of like, most people are sort of like, sorry, I've no idea. One chap sort of says, oh yeah, there's sort of like there's a glassworks in town, and sort of just like indicates over his shoulder, and then is gone by the time you try and accost him with the next question.
God damn it.
Well,
Yeah. So you established that there's a glassblower in town, but other than that,
I mean, we were given a general direction? Question mark? Or was that
yeah,
just
he sort of thumbed over his shoulder in the general direction of some of the the alleys by the shops that you went down the other day, off towards the area that you assumed was the industrial sort of district.
I mean, do you feel like taking a walk, Arya?
I suppose.
I mean, may as well see if we can find it, if we were given a general direction.
Yeah, cool. Give me just regular investigation checks.
Aw, man.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Oh. Look at our plus zeros to investigation.
So,
I know. We're the worst people to investigate anything.
as you set off, okay. Yeah, you wander around for a bit. You sort of wander around into the industrial area that you found before, and it's like you go past a couple of places that are quite obviously like a tanner's and things, and you go past the blacksmith that Vondal was at, getting his stuff, working the silver for you. When after a brief while you turn down one side street and bump into the same group of elves who almost knocked into you the other day, who all seem to sort of be standing around, sort of not really doing anything. They just sort of seem to be killing time out in the street, and they sort of like, you sort of make eye contact with them, and they sort of like look at you, and basically you've turned into a dead end where they are.
I'll bring it up Rumble.
That's probably a bad idea.
It's probably better. These elves are like super suspicious though. Like, why is there just a bunch of elves doing nothing in the streets?
Sort of eye you with curiosity.
Arya's not just gonna go walk up to some random person and talk to them. That's not Arya's groove.
Well, we're here anyway, so you know what? Screw it. I don't suppose any of you know where the glassworkers' shop would be in this area. Glassworker, glassblower. That was a really weird way of saying that.
Same thing. Yeah, the tallest elf, who is sort of standing furthest away from you, looks at you curiously and says, "Yes, I suppose I do. That'd be me."
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's awkward.
Well, that is a little awkward. I don't say that in character.
How can I help you?
Well, I was either looking for somewhere to purchase supplies for work of my own, or I suppose if you have some that I could potentially borrow in the near future.
He sort of looks at you curiously and says, "You're a glassblower, then?"
It's been a while, but yes. I was taught a bit when I was younger.
He sort of like cocks his head and says, "Hobbyist or professional?"
My teacher was a professional.
He looks at you like you haven't really answered his question.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I've never done it professionally. Okay, well, look, it was there were two choices of like an answer there.
Yeah. He sort of says, well, in that case, I might be able to help you. He sort of indicates you to follow him back up the alley. And he says, so, what are you making?
It's a bit of a personal project, but it's a setting for something essentially.
He sort of looks at you in interest and says, "Oh, okay then. You won't be needing much then."
No, not. From what I know of what it's supposed to be, no, I don't need like a lot of supplies.
You reach basically a small door in the side of the street. And I need to open up a document very quickly. Yeah, and he basically pushes the door open to basically reveal sort of like what you recognize from the time when you were taught to be like a full proper glassblower's workshop. However, it looks like the furnace isn't running at all, and it looks like they haven't done any work in like at least like a couple of days.
Not a lot of demand for glass flowing here.
He says, well, more than you'd think.
That's fair.
He turns back to you and says, long story short, me and my boys here, we're on strike.
Are there strikes in medieval times?
Apparently.
Apparently so.
But this isn't medieval times. This is fantasy times.
It's not like they're in a union. They're just refusing to work.
Do you mind if I ask why? Or against what?
He basically says, well, we came here under basically an agreement with the mayor, and basically it was to be that if any of the buildings in the city needed reglazing, that we'd do it, and it would be our contract for 4 years. And we were quite happy with that. Only, the other week, there was a few broken windows. Nothing major, we could have done it quite easily. However, supplies were running a little late, so we had to put the project off for a day or two. In that day or two, the mayor found somewhere else that had supplies going spare. Could have offered to provide it to us. Contracted it out to somebody else. Broke our contract. We weren't exactly happy about that. So, we're now refusing to work. Simple enough.
Well, that's fair. I mean, to go back on a contract is pretty shit.
he sort of nods in agreement and says, "Aye, especially when you've travelled as far as we have."
Where do you come from originally?
Small village by the name of Starsing. You might have heard of it.
Have I heard of it?
Yes. Yeah, it's in Aravandar.
Okay.
It's not known for anything other than being a small town.
Got you.
But yes, suffice it to say, they're not local lads. They would have had to travel at least a month's worth of travel, basically like you guys have,
Oh boy.
to get here. So to be like a month's travel away from home and snubbed out on your contract is kind of shitty. But yes, you debate how much supplies you would need to create what you think it is that you're going to create, and he roughly calculates that you'll need about 2 golds worth of materials for the glass, and he is willing to sort of run the forge for you or run the furnace for you and let you use the premises basically for. It's not a huge amount, but he's sort of you're going to be using fuel and stuff. He says he equates it to roughly with the time you need to create it. He reckons about 8 silver an hour, and it's going to take you 3 hours maybe.
Okay. Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, he says if you want any work done, he's usually around here, or he's in the pub, or just come and find him whenever, and he'll suit it up for you.
Okay. Do you have a name that we could find you by?
Yeah. His name is Nelmar Oakenleaf. Yes.
Okay.
You sound very certain about that.
What?
Said you sound very certain about that.
Yes, I'm finding his name so I can paste it for you. There you go.
Oh, it's close.
Nelmar Oakenleaf.
No more oaken leaf.
Rip the oaken leaves.
Rip them.
Yes.
Cut the leaves into pieces.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Well,
Anyway.
I guess I'll offer a hand to shake and be like, Kelariis Greysurge, nice to meet you.
He takes your hand, and he's sort of as he shakes your hand, you can feel that he's got a fairly decent grip that would belie sort of his physical appearance, because as an elf he's sort of generally quite skinny, but he's pretty strong.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's sorted.
He sort of asks you if you have any idea of when you're going to be starting.
Hopefully in a day or two. Yeah.
Circumstances
really big,
permitting.
Yeah. Just a
Well,
little
you
bit.
just say, oh, whenever we steal the staff.
Right? It's like, oh, we just gotta steal this thing. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We have to steal the
yes.
thing we're gonna use it with, so hold on.
Yeah. Ideally in a day or so.
Okay. Yeah, he nods and says, yeah, that should be alright.
Thank you.
Cool. You've found your glass blowers.
Who knew talking to random bands of elves in the streets would pay off?
Right? You said they were suspicious.
They are. They were suspicious.
Arya thinks everyone
They
is
were.
suspicious.
This is
Yeah,
true.
That's just Arya. Arya sees anyone who
Arya.
doesn't want to fight them.
I don't want to fight them. I just don't trust
So-
them.
Yeah.
The first question was, are we roughing with them?
That is true. That is very
That
true.
was- Yeah, that is true.
Look, we met in a dark alley, like
It's not a dark alley, it's the middle of the day!
dark alley, and it's like a dead end. Like this is go time.
That is true. That does kind of sound like the setup for a fight. In Luka's defense.
Oh my fucking god.
I
Why
didn't
would I
want
keep
a
doing
fight. I just said it looked like a fight.
Of course, it's also the two people in our party most likely to get into a fight.
Yeah.
We should never have left you guys alone.
Nope.
No, we
Cool.
shouldn't.
So, with that, you are once again free to do as you choose.
Did you have any business you needed to take care of, Arya?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, well.
I really am just here for the ride until we go break into that building.
well, I
Somebody
guess
quote that.
I guess back to the tavern then.
Yeah, I guess so. Look,
Okay.
don't judge me.
Okay, so as you return to the tavern, Vondal and V, you arrive at the tavern first, where... Find my script. Where Eon is there behind the bar, looking generally out of breath and harassed as usual. And you actually notice that there are a couple of people in here that you recognise from a couple of days ago from the football match. There's a couple of people in here sort of like drinking and talking. But when he sees you approach, when he sees you come back in, he beckons you over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he says, "I've been asked to give this to your group when you turn up." And he hands you a letter and a small wrapped parcel. The letter is addressed to Kelariis.
I guess we keep
Is
hold of that.
parcel also for Kelariis, you think?
It doesn't seem to have anything written on it, but like the letter and the package are part of the same thing.
Okay, well in that case, I guess we just keep hold of it.
Okay.
So Kelariis can see.
Give me a perception check real quick. Vondal, you can have advantage.
Sweet.
Okay. 10.
Thank God for advantage.
4.
No, V's on the board.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't even fucking matter what you roll, because V's just like killing it.
As always. It's a pretty shitty first roll for me, really, isn't it? 3 and a 7.
Oh.
Okay. So you take the letter and the parcel.
Yeah. Just kind of keeping hold of it.
Okay.
Alex, I'll say thank you.
Yeah. Says, no problem. As you sit there, it takes maybe like 10-15 minutes before. Actually, maybe it's probably more like 20 minutes actually before Kelariis and Arya arrive. They walk in. You are now all in the tavern.
Awkward eye contact.
This
Yeah.
is very awkward.
It's really
Very awkward.
Says, are you sitting down? I don't know. What are you doing?
Well, presumably they come over to your table and sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as they
Okay.
do, I'm just going to push the parcel towards Kelariis.
Okay.
And I'll-
Everybody give me insight checks.
Fuck me.
I don't think
Well, technically you have advantage because you're technically inciting your other half.
It's so much better.
It's not a critical fail. That's the thing. Kelariis, can you incite me as well?
Yeah. Sorry.
I just like begged
Cool.
That
him.
was shit.
Oh my god.
Cool.
I'm Arya.
You
Fuck our
you
lives.
you flash looks at each other across the table. Nothing suspicious is happening here at all.
Nothing at all.
Oh,
Oh
even
my
me?
god.
Well, hang on. Actually, let me check.
Weird.
Nothing.
What is Arya's passive deception?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's actually awful. So yeah.
Oh my
fuck
god.
life. This is gonna be like a fucking bomb or something, and we're all gonna die.
How do you
blow
know
up
it's about
this
the
tavern.
package?
No, I think it's
Well-
about each other, what we've been up to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Arya's just got that look on her face, V, that says she's been up to no good and she knows it.
Okay, we haven't done that much, that's not good.
I mean, we've just been like wandering around talking to some glass blowers.
And sneaking around somebody's house with the intent to break into it.
Cough. Cough trespassing,
Fine.
cough planning.
But yes, Kelariis, you are handed a package and a letter. I would like you to make me a perception check.
Wow, handed is a strong word.
Wow.
Along the
Jeez.
table.
For fuck's
Okay.
sake, Lars, come
Oh
on.
my god. I don't
You
know.
you do not recognize the handwriting. However,
Fantastic.
you open a letter.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And yeah. Clara slowly starts to read this letter in front of all of you.
Hold on, I'm skimming this as quickly as I can.
It's okay.
Well, this is exactly how it would appear in.
In real life.
Everyone just sits there and awkwardly looks at Kelariis reading. Nobody says anything.
Nope. I mean, we're all like kind of pissed at each other. Well, I'm not really angry, I guess.
I'm not pissed.
Vondal's kind of angry.
He's maybe a little bit annoyed.
Oh, Jesus.
Should probably open this up so people watching the video can see it.
Yeah.
God, you're so inconsiderate about our fucking viewer base, Ferrous.
There's like
It's
5
it's
people.
really long.
I kind of figured considering Jayla opened it. Oh god.
No one opens something and goes, "Oh God," because it's so short.
Yeah.
Unless it's like,
unless it's Luka opening up some sort of fan fiction for her favorite shit.
and then I just cry.
Or it's a letter that
Okay.
says, "We have your daughter."
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
I
all you
mean,
have to do is give them a phone call.
What?
I
No,
don't
you
know.
gotta send
About
like,
having
the
a very
ominous-
particular set of skills.
Yeah,
Ah, there we go.
exactly. Or in my case, I have no skills.
Right.
Okay.
After a while, Kelariis folds down the letter.
Okay. Well, okay. As I was like, as she was reading that, she like her basically, it was kind of like the thing where your brow furrows more and more as you read.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of as I finished, just let out a big breath and just say, long story short, Grim has decided to depart from us for the time. And
Oh, right.
he's
This is what this
decided
is.
to head back home.
Mm. Why?
He says that he's very concerned with what's going on with Neller and the Wraith Glass, and feels that we've strayed a bit from our personal goals at the moment, and he wishes to pursue that line of information in hopes of finding more to help us there. He said that if he finds any information, he'll send a letter to Professor Zale back at the academy in the capital, and this package is from him. Oh, he took one of the horses as well, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess he had to get home somehow.
How many horses do we have? Do we just have 2?
You had 2, yes.
Okay, well now we only have 1, I guess.
Well, technically, you have 1 and a spectral horse that can be summoned at will.
Oh, yeah.
A spectral horse that can be summoned at will. God.
Don't worry
Never
about it.
forget that.
It just means somebody has to double up with Kelariis.
Yep, someone has to double up on the spectral horse that can be summoned at will.
I'm sure that will be fine.
What's inside the package then?
Oh, I don't know what's inside the package.
You open up the package, and contained inside...
Is a long written love confession.
No, that was in the letter.
Oh, right.
Oh, that was it. Oh.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
So it is.
I forgot he had all that shit on it.
I didn't know he had a whale.
I think it was my will.
I think that it was V's, which is why he left it.
Ah.
I think it's oil for my lantern, but I couldn't carry it all.
It looks like, yeah, it looks like what we have. It looks like no longer are we going to have anybody turning suddenly really attractive.
Damn.
Because he's still got the horn.
Well, I'm still
Oh, yeah.
attractive.
Never forget. Well, I suppose there's not much we can do about it now. He's made his choice and left as he sees fit.
He did say he's sorry for leaving without a proper goodbye, if that... I feel like that's important to mention.
How long until we well, I say this to Ferrous, by the way. How long until we should probably depart again for the search for the chaplain?
Well, once you guys have finished this dialogue, we will take a brief break, and then we will talk about that.
Okay. This is real awkward.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, we just lost a party member, so I don't know what to say.
You will rather sullenly look just at the table, anywhere that isn't the rest of your companions.
Vondal sort of like twiddling his thumbs together.
Suddenly it sort of hits home, sort of how much you have been arguing and disagreeing.
Guys.
Suddenly
I'm
you
so
start to see each
sorry.
other's perspective.
Cries.
And if nobody has anything else to say, we will take a break.
It's just awkward silence, Rob.
Yep.
Okay. The awkward silence continues. And we will resume the awkward silence
more.
after the break.
Next time on the Second Age.
More awkward
More
silence.
silence.